Welcome back to MD Autos, your trusted place for everything automotive. Today, we're diving into the iconic Mazda RX-8, a car that still turns heads and sparks debate in 2025. Whether you're a die-hard rotary fan or just discovering this machine, stick around as we take a close look at the RX-8's design, performance, and a quick tour of the interior. Let's start with what makes the RX-8 instantly recognizable, the exterior. Even in 2025, nearly 2 decades since the last production model rolled off the line, the RX-8 still looks sharp and modern. It's a unique mix of aggressive sports car and refined coupe, with Mazda's signature design cues making a strong impression. The long, low-slung hood, flared wheel arches, and distinctively short rear deck give the RX-8 a classic sports car silhouette. But what truly sets it apart are the freestyle rear doors. These rear-hinged doors aren't just a cool party trick. They actually offer practical access to the rear seats, something rarely seen in performance coupes. The front end of the RX-8 carries that distinctive Mazda smile. The 5-point grille sits confidently between sharply sculpted headlights. The headlights themselves are sleek, stretching back toward the fenders and featuring a projector-style setup that still looks premium even by modern standards. The side profile is clean and muscular. Body lines sweep elegantly from the front fenders toward the rear, and the proportions are perfect for a front mid-engine layout. Mazda balanced style and functionality beautifully. The RX-8 manages to look fast even when it's parked. Around back, the RX-8 continues to impress. The dual exhaust tips are cleanly integrated into the rear bumper, and the taillights echo the circular theme that resonates throughout the car's design. The subtle ducktail-style trunk lid spoiler adds a hint of downforce and a dose of attitude. Many owners choose to personalize this area, but even in stock form, the rear is balanced and aesthetically pleasing. Mazda didn't go overboard with vents or unnecessary aggression, and that's part of the RX-8's charm. It's athletic without being too loud. The car was offered with several wheel designs over its production run, from sporty 18-inch alloys to more minimal 16-inch versions. Pair those with the right stance and it's clear why the RX-8 remains a favorite for tuners and collectors alike. Now let's talk about what lies beneath that long hood, the heart of the RX-8, the rotary engine. The RX-8 was powered by Mazda's famous Renesis 1.3-liter twin-rotor engine. On paper, that tiny displacement might raise eyebrows, but this little power plant was capable of revving beyond 9,000 RPM. That's something you just don't see in most modern engines, even in 2025. The high-revving nature of the rotary engine gives the RX-8 a character all its own. It doesn't punch you in the back with low-end torque like a turbocharged 4-cylinder would, but once you hit 5,000 RPM and push toward the red line, the engine comes alive. It's smooth, linear, and accompanied by a distinctive whine that's unlike anything else. It almost feels like you're piloting a motorcycle or a high-strung race car. Mazda offered the RX-8 with 2 power levels depending on the transmission. The 6-speed manual version produced around 232 horsepower, while the 4-speed and 6-speed automatics were slightly detuned. But make no mistake, to truly experience the RX-8 as intended, the manual is the way to go. It's not just about the numbers, it's about how the car makes you feel. In terms of handling, the RX-8 shines. Thanks to its near-perfect 50/50 weight distribution and rear-wheel drive layout, the car feels incredibly balanced through corners. The chassis is responsive, the steering is razor-sharp, and the suspension tuning strikes a perfect balance between sport and comfort. Mazda really emphasized driver engagement with the RX-8, and it shows. You feel connected to the road, with feedback coming through the wheel and seat that makes spirited driving deeply satisfying. This car isn't about brute force, it's about finesse. The RX-8 encourages smooth inputs and rewards drivers who take the time to understand its rhythm. It carves through winding roads with elegance and confidence, and on a twisty back road, few cars in its price range can match its poise and precision. Of course, no discussion of the RX-8 would be complete without mentioning its quirks. Rotary engines require more maintenance than your average piston engine. Oil consumption is higher, and starting them cold can sometimes be a challenge. But for those willing to learn and take care of their car, the RX-8 offers an experience that's hard to replicate with anything else on the road. It's a car that builds a relationship with its owner. Let's step briefly inside the RX-8. The interior design is clean and sporty. You immediately notice the central tachometer, a nod to the car's high-revving personality, flanked by a digital speedometer and auxiliary gauges. The layout is driver-focused, with simple, tactile controls and minimal distractions. Materials quality varies depending on the trim, but overall, it feels solid and well built for its era. The front seats are supportive and bolstered enough for spirited driving while remaining comfortable on longer trips. There's also enough leg and headroom for most drivers. The rear seats are usable, especially thanks to those rear-hinged doors, and while taller passengers won't want to stay back there for hours, it's practical enough for short trips or for kids. Not something many sports cars can claim. Storage space is modest, with a decently sized trunk and some cubbies in the cabin. But again, the RX-8 isn't trying to be a family hauler. It's a driver's car with just enough practicality to make daily use viable. The design is sleek, and the rotary motif shows up subtly in places like the headrests and gauge cluster, reminding you that this car is truly unique. Even in 2025, the Mazda RX-8 remains a compelling option for enthusiasts. It's a car that dares to be different, and it's all the better for it. Whether you're admiring it from the curb, enjoying a high-revving blast on a canyon road, or simply appreciating the way it connects you to the driving experience, the RX-8 is a reminder that cars don't have to be conventional to be great. That's all for today's review here on MD Autos. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Mazda RX-8, a car that still stands out, even years after production ended. If you liked this video, don't forget to like,